Welcome back to Off-Label Veterinary News, your source for commentary on animals, medicine, and practice life. If this is your first time, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's jump in to a story that everybody's talking about. What does the United Airlines dog death mean for veterinary professionals? On Monday, March 12, 2018, a family was traveling with their 10-month-old French bulldog on United Airlines from Houston to New York. As they were being seated, a flight attendant allegedly forced them to place their dog in its carrier in an overhead bin where it subsequently died. I'd like to start by stating there is simply no excuse for ever placing an animal in an overhead compartment.
She's like, he died, coquito, and he didn't wake up.
This is a tragedy that should have and could have been avoided easily if the flight attendant had simply followed the airline protocols regarding pet transportation. In the wake of this tragedy, United Airlines has accepted full responsibility for the dog's death and has promised to change its protocols regarding flying with pets. So how risky is it for pets flying domestic airlines? If we look at the data from 2015 to 2017, United Air had the highest rate of death per 10,000 animals flown. In the past year, 24 pets have died on U.S. air carriers. 18 of them on United Air. What's interesting about this data is that Alaska and United reported they flew almost the same number of animals, yet Alaska's death per 10,000 rate was dramatically lower than United's. My guess is that Alaska Airlines appears to be safer for flying pets than the other airlines because of a culture that focuses on animal safety. United attributed most of the animal deaths to lack of acclimatization and comorbidities. Senate leaders have put forth the WOOF Act, or the Welfare of Our Furry Friends Act, which would prohibit any airline from placing a pet in an overhead compartment. The recent debates we've witnessed over how to define service animals that can fly with you on airplanes is one element of a much bigger issue. The simple fact is, it's difficult to travel with your pet in the United States. You have limited options on airlines, limited options on trains and buses, and limited options for housing and hotel. This comes at a time when society is more accepting of animals than ever before. Another important component of this story is the dog's breed. We know that the short-nosed or brachycephalic breeds, such as French bulldogs, pugs, Pekingese, and so forth, are at greater risk for respiratory distress and failure during stressful conditions. Airlines already have strict regulations regarding the transportation of short-nosed and strong-jawed breeds in the cargo holds, but currently they are approved to travel in the cabin. One of the outcomes of this case could be that brachycephalic breeds are banned from flying altogether by some airlines. As a profession, we need to be involved with the discussions on how to safely travel with your pet. If you're a veterinarian completing a health certificate for air travel, be sure to educate your client on safe travel procedures. Some examples of resources to provide clients with are the Pet Plan Travel Guide and PetFriendlyTravel.com. If you're asked to sign an airline acclimatization form for cargo transportation of animals, make sure to include a safety statement. The animals in this shipment appear healthy for transport, but need to be maintained at a temperature within the animal's thermoneutral zone. My biggest concern is that in response to this recent United Air dog death, most airlines will begin restricting animal travel in general. I think this creates potential opportunities for service providers to transport animals more safely and comfortably. We've seen a few companies experiment with pet travel services in the past, but perhaps now is the time. Another concern I have is that airlines may begin to include veterinarians in the liability net when it comes to deaths of animals. We saw a move in this direction recently when United asked veterinarians to declare if they were aware if a service animal posed a threat. United retracted that statement and altered their form, but it still makes me concerned that in the future we may be entrapped in liability. I believe that this is the beginning of a much more serious conversation about how we travel with our pets in the United States. I think veterinary professionals need to get involved and begin articulating our opinions on how we can better serve our pet patients. I think air carriers should be more accommodating for pet travel. I've always been incredibly concerned about animals being transported in the cargo holds of commercial airlines. I know that we can do better for our pets, and by combining the expertise of veterinary professionals with airline experts, we can create systems that are safe and comfortable for the dogs and cats and service animals that we travel with. What do you think, off-labelers? What has your experience been with air travel and pets? What are your suggestions for making air travel safer for pets and people? Well, that's it for another edition of Off-Label Veterinary News. If you like content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ding the bell so you'll be notified as soon as content like this drops on your internet doorstep. Until next time, keep living that off-label life. Bye.